Hi guys, this is Tolinar, and I am an Overlord, and also a support main. And we've got a nice game for you this time. Here we go. Once again, I will be forced to carry support, as Tristana has no clue what she is doing. It happens. So let's get on the field. I wanted to talk a little bit about what it means, really, to carry support. Generally speaking, oh, never mind. We're going to do level 1 shit. Okay, we'll talk later. Let's play now. So here they come, and I'm going to start off by attacking that ward, and Tristana's not going to take a shot at it, so fuck. I guess we are not going to deny them vision of the river brush. Shit. That's just great. Their entire team is here. Yasuo did come over, so that's a plus, but Ivern is AFK. Isn't that just grand? Go ahead and stick a ward there, and they will take that down. Leona will use the shield bash, and I ain't bothering to stick around for this. This is stupid. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the lane, because Ivern is AFK, and I ain't leashing for nobody. Besides, you don't leash for an Ivern anyways. So, off we go into the wild blue yonder. Sort of standing by, getting ready to go. Now I'm facing a Leona, so I went ahead with a bead so I could rush tier 2. Leona lanes don't tend to be a lot of trading. It's all about all-ins, and either you live or you don't. And if you live, then you go back to base, usually. So I am just hanging out. I'm holding a stack in case I need to heal just once in the middle of a combat. I missed the grab on Leona. That could have been a pretty good amount of damage on her. Doesn't happen though. So we are hanging out.
First blood.
Really sure the deal is with that ghost Poro. We're gonna figure it out though. I scare it off. I don't like it. If she's gonna yank herself to me, I'm gonna go straight in on Misfortune. They're gonna ignite me, and I am gonna live. And Tristana helps pad my survival out a little bit with a heal. It helps, I guess. Not necessary, but welcome. If anything, it deters their attack. And Leona is just sort of hanging out. I am waiting for my health to come back. I have one of my total biscuits. They're 15%, so I've got just enough to cling to the lane here. But not for too much longer. Barrier that off. I'm just regenerating using my Q. And Ivern is back, so that's good. Waiting to get my E when I get to level 3 so I can start fighting back against these guys. And I'm trying to set Tristana up to last hit, and she is not really driving on it, so that's just great. When I see her missing the last hits, I begin to worry. Tag Misfortune. And toss my ghouls on her face. And I slip in here and force off Leona. She misses her yank. I still take quite a bit of damage. Miss my goot ball. It's okay. I got what I wanted, just a nice hard trade, and I'm going to recall and upgrade my support item and get a couple other little things. I am not happy with this Tristana, though. It is 14 to 24 CS. That is pretty shitty. The worst part is 5 of her CS have come from me. So yeah, that's bad. She's not doing her job. I go ahead and pick up the cannon minion using my E because Tristana's not going to shoot the damn thing. Bothersome. Man's got to do what a man's got to do. So I start taking CS for myself. If Tristana's not going to take it, I'm going to take it. Take a little bit there, that's for sure. Tag Misfortune, call the ghouls, and put her back in that awkward place where she has to stop and fight ghouls rather than farm. And that helps even things up just a little bit between her and Tristana. Not by much, though, because Tristana is not playing very well. Okay. So here we go. She got one. That's a nice touch. I am taking quite a bit of poke, but I should be alright. I am watching Ivern, who is walking up on the brush. I don't know if they have vision of him, but I do know that he doesn't do anything. He just stands there like a lemon. Well, that's great. And he comes on down the lane. Here he comes, and he's got this big old plan. You gonna lane dive? No, they see you. Of course they see you. And I missed it, so that's no good. Tristana misses the cannon minion. And I am disappointed, son. So I start pushing harder. I call the minions. I miss Misfortune. That would have been an easy kill. I still dunk her, though. At this point, I stay in, and I'm trying to stay on top of the Leona. But Tristana jumps out because she was ignited and freaks out. So that's no good. And because of that, Leona will survive. But as Skarner decides to stick around, I realize I can re-engage, so I bind him up. I goop him down. And this time, Tristana gets the kill. Alright, I'll take it. You let one get away, but you pinned one down. We'll call it good. I'm not too happy with you, though. I wish you would finish cleaning your plate. Leaving minions is seriously bad mojo. So I'm going to go ahead and take some last hits if you won't. Alright, here's Misfortune. Fun's over. Time to back up. Good job, I said. That's real nice. 32 to 39, and you got a kill and an assist. And so did I. So now we're ahead. Things are looking rosy. I'm still not really impressed with her ability to farm, so I'm going to go ahead and use as many ghouls as I want. Because I'm not impinging on her farm, because she's not farming all that great. But I am going to go ahead and upgrade my item pool, get myself a nice sight stone, make sure that I've got my refillable, and we're going to head right on back into the battle. Back into the fray, as it were. And I noticed that there is now a ward in the river, so that's great. Tristana is just getting chunked by this Misfortune. It's a lot of damage that she's able to put out now that she's got a BF sword and that mana ring. Bit of a hassle. 1 and 2. I pick that one up. Pick that one up. Pick that one up. And I miss. I clicked the wrong minion. Why me? Oh, life sucks. Anyways, I get one. Could have had all three if I'd done it right. But I clicked the wrong minion. How imperfect of me. And now Miss Tristana has went ahead and recalled, so I'm just going to hang out here. I'm letting them take minion aggro, fight it down. I don't care. I know how to farm under a turret. I'll be fine. So here they come. As one shot. There's 2 shots. That one. Oops. Almost. Almost. Too busy. And I miss all other caster minions. Boo-hoo. Pitiful me. Pretty bad. At least I got a little bit of something. And they're pushing in again. I tried to double hit it, but I was too far away to make it work. Because I had to spend a half second walking towards the minion, I didn't get the double hit. So nothing happened. I am considering my options at this point. I'm looking. I completely missed the goop ball. I call and maiden since I just hit 6. Bind up the Misfortune and start doing tons of damage to her. Oh, I'm freak, aren't I great? Okay. I get stunned by Leona, which helps peel me off Misfortune. But I do stick to Leona pretty hard. And I take her down before stepping out of that goop. I almost die, but she doesn't get me. My maiden gives no fucks about that stupid Tristana who's decided to fight right next to her, so that's all good. We're going to get the gold. And start pushing to the turret. This visual effect you're seeing along the bottom of the turret is Demolish, and it's one of my favorites, to be honest. I really like Demolish. puts a lot of damage on the turret, and it gets stronger as you get tankier. So you don't necessarily have to build damage to get it. So it's a nice touch. And I'm crying my eyes out for who knows what reason. I was depressed, maybe. Okay. Gonna go ahead and drop a ward by the enemy blue. Take a quick peek at the dragon and think, I don't have enough health to do that. So I'm gonna go over here and pop the health plant and grab all the fruits. Alright, and at this time, Tristana's gonna come waddling over. After I zone out Leona. I'll be like, oh, no you don't. And I'll V-ping her right on out of there. Come on, let's go. Get out of lane. You don't have any HP, so you don't need to be here. Take that ward down. And we'll just recall. Play safe. No greed. So we are looking at 66 to 55. Despite being 2 kills up, Tristana is still down by 10 CS. That's real depressing, actually. The good news is I have 29 CS to Leona's 17, so I'm covering the difference. And I've got 2 kills also. So bot lane is really behind right now. Unfortunately, this game gets worse before it gets better. So, here I am, trying desperately to farm. I don't quite have enough power, so I'm in that awkward spot where I can't finish off minions. And here comes the enemy, so I step away from my CS. I pick it up in a minute. I'm watching that stuff going on in the river thinking, I'm going to zone out Misfortune if she tries to join this. But they get Yasuo anyways and start wandering down this way. Now my concern is that they're going to go for Dragon. So I am watching here. Sure enough, I take a good chunk off of Misfortune's health. And then Tristana jumps onto Misfortune. And Skarner's right there. I go ahead and close the kill out for her and then start walking away. I really don't want to deal with this. I group ball Leona and use my double smack to really pay her back double. And with that, I suppose I'm just going to have to meander about a little bit. I decide that mid is the place to be. So I go on through, and I notice red buff, so I go ahead and pick up red buff. I like red buff. Got good vision here. There's Leona. I take a shot. I don't get it. Too bad. You don't always get the things you want. So I'm coming around here. I'm looking at Dragon. There's Skarner. So I drop the Maiden on him to try and catch him. Just barely skates out of the ring. I would have killed him if he hadn't gotten out of the ring. So I let him go and just take his blue buff instead. It's what I wanted anyways. Tristana actually helps me take it and then walks away and lets me have it. Pretty cool of her. For all the finesse she lacks in terms of her playstyle, she is most definitely being a team player here. I'm trying to keep my Maiden unoccupied because she gets distracted so easily. I know as I go into the lane that things are going to get hairy. I miss. I put my attacks on Kled, who starts taking a whole lot of damage, and I step sideways to get out of that. Malphite ults that does quite a lot of damage. Yasuo ults to get a lot more damage. I fling my goop onto the enemy, and Maiden goes in real far and gets smoted, of all things. I wall off Skarner. I take one more look at the battlefield and think, this is not worth my time. And I transition to the bot lane to go do some farming while everybody in mid gets killed. Yep. Not worth my time. So here I am on bot lane absorbing all the damage that was intended for the turret. Of which there was apparently quite a bit. I call ghouls. I continue clearing. Miss a couple times. Call more ghouls. They're going ham. It's what I want. And I'm going to go ahead and walk back to the turret and recall. Okay. So I'm sitting on 2, 0, and 4. I've got my potions. I've got wards. I've got 3 charges on my support item. And I am looking towards getting a black cleaver, which is your standard opening item for a Yorick. Generally, it's where you want to go before you get anything else. Now, if things are different, if the game doesn't go that well, you can change where you start. You can change which items you get right away. But black cleaver should be one of the earliest items you get in every game because the ghouls stack that black cleaver passive. I missed the goat because Sled just jumps right on my face. I take a whole lot of damage. Yasuo ults, he gets almost no damage. Tristana jumps in, forcing some flashes. And Yasuo goes a little too ham. Lucian cleans it up. Now here I can see them coming, so I just wheel it on back. There's no sense in fighting that there. We're going to take it back to the turret and just sit there. Aha. Now these guys are going ham, and I am giving them plenty of question marks to think about. Why exactly are they fighting 5-on-2? Why are they not back by the turret? The enemy is going to go ahead and do Herald at this time. I'm not all that worried about Herald. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. So I start pushing on the mid. And if they come around, I get a good pin. Leona manages to get herself out. That's fine. Maiden takes a whole lot of damage all at once, and Tristana has found some more friends. I don't understand why she can't just stay close to me. But she does draw aggro from Skarner, and my Maiden is down, so it's probably best to just get out of there. I'm pretty upset at Tristana for wandering off on her own. I teleport top and start farming. Herald appears on the bottom lane. Just sort of sitting around at this point. Gradually building up my CS. I now have more CS than our ADC does. It's 80 to 71. It's really that bad. The enemy Misfortune has more than me though at 95. The enemy support's at 30. So I've got some climbing to do. Tristana does manage a kill there against Kled, who's a little bit too aggro for his own good. I come strutting back out of the base. Our score isn't that bad. It's 10 to 12. We're down 3,000 gold though. If you check the scoreboard, you'll see why. I'm sitting at 6,200, and Tristana's looking at 63. Ivern's the top dog at 42. But a lot of the enemies are already getting up to 7,000. In particular, Skarner is very rich right now. So the junglers are getting everything in this game, and we're just sort of struggling along here. So we stop to get the dragon. That's great. Veer on to bottom lane. And again, I'm going to farm because this Tristana is awful. So I want every last CS I can get. I call ghouls and pull one of them back with me, and now I notice that that turret is going to go down, so it's time to move back on defense. And back I go. In just a few seconds, Maiden will be up, and I should be able to launch quite a stalwart defense. So I get in defense position, I call the Maiden, and now I've got to stop the push. I drop barrier. There's a whole lot of damage put on Leona. She's forced to flash out. Tristana takes a lot of damage because she got up front. I'm still mostly letting the maiden do the heavy lifting. Lots of damage here. I throw down an exhaust. Manage to boot the Leona again. Damage all over the place. Miss the hook. Still taking a lot of damage, but I'm regaining a lot of damage as well. And Yasuo picks up a double kill. Now we have an onside, and I have no intention of letting this go. We've managed to kill several of them. Several of them have very low HP. We're going to knock some turrets down. Yasuo is going in, so I'm going to follow him. Make sure that I do everything I can to keep the hopes alive, so to speak. The siege minion is right where it ought to be. It's taking damage for our lovely maiden. So I'm doing plenty of work here. I'm trying to enrage the maiden on Skarner as much as possible. I know the maiden doesn't have too much time left on her, but she's fairly durable. They do actually get the turret, at which point Kled murders the maiden, and I realize that it is well past my bedtime, and I need to go home. Ivern, I don't even know what the hell you're smoking. Anyways, at least he has gold. It's hard to complain about gold.
Rampage.
We're gonna make our way around, and I'm gonna break that stupid ward and then recall. My team is now split pushing, which I have no problems with whatsoever, as long as everyone is careful with their engagements. That's smart play. 2-0 is 7. I've got my Black Cleaver now and my Swiftnesses, and I'm working on a Giant's Belt so I can build Warmogs. Warmogs is a terrific item on Yorick. It lets him disengage and come right back in. It doesn't heal the maiden, but it does heal him. And since later in the game, the maiden is usually tougher than you, especially just as you hit 16, it's a good call. And here is Jungle Boy, so I'm going to go ahead and share some CS with him just a little. I'm watching what's going on by the river. This is going to be a big mess. Skarner managed to get Tristana, so I'll just walk away from it. There's no reason to fight that. It's just going to be a big, hairy mess. And Ivern is going to get over there anyways. I can't even begin to fathom why.
Shut down.
Anyways, Lucian is going to kill Yasuo, so now he's down. And Skarner is pushing the bot lane. Meanwhile, I need to keep Kled and Lucian at arm's length. Unfortunately, Kled has the Demolish rune, so that is the end of that turret very quickly. And I'm going to be forced to hug the next turret instead. Having formed a nice solid perimeter, I set up camp and start farming away. At this point, we see Lucian up on the blue buff. And Nov8 really wants to go fight that, which is pretty stupid, actually. I'm pretty sure there's 2 players there visible, and for Nov8 to go alone would be pretty dumb. Hopefully he doesn't do it. I don't remember what he does in this game. It looks like they're preparing the Baron. So I am farming away over here. And go ahead and capture this control point for my team.
Red team has slain Baron Nashor.
And there's Baron. And this is a little worrisome, but it's not too bad. What I need to do is keep gaining power. I've got to get the levels up. Good on my ghouls, on my other units. So we're going to go ahead and clear this ward as well. And I'm watching very closely for where the enemy is at this point. A bad enemy is going to float around the jungle and do nothing with Baron buff. A good enemy is going to occupy all the lanes and push super minions through every single lane. Those Baron empowered minions like these are really damaging. You can see Misfortune floating around in the back, so you know that he's the one who's currently donating all this pressure to the lane. But I see Skarner in the brush and decide to step on back and drop something. Now things are going to shit. And Nov8 and Tristana are just disengaging. I go ahead and wall off Skarner, but he uses his ult on me. And all 4 of them descend on me before anyone else can reach me. All because Tristana and Yasuo just decided to derp off in their own direction. There's still a pretty hard push on the top lane, so Kled will be forced to teleport away from the fight. I'm up to 135 CS now. It's looking better all the time. I've managed to breach 9,500, and I'm getting very close to catching our team leader in Yasuo. And I've also managed to pass all the players on the enemy team except for Kled and Skarner. I've got to keep farming though. Getting even is a good start. I need to get ahead if I want to win this game.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
We've lost an inhibitor, and that's bad news. We'll see what we can get in exchange for it. I come running out of the base. I manage to land some goop. I hook Lucian. Don't get anything there. Yasuo dies really quickly. And I start farming. I'm probably not going to get paid for picking on the enemy, so I'm just doing all the gold I can get. There's Kled. He's being a nuisance. As Kled wanders out of range, the minions lose their super minion qualities. As long as he's there, well, that's just how it goes. Here, I fail teleport. It's awful. If you teleport on the mini-map, and underneath the mini-map is a minion, you'll teleport to the minion under the mini-map. That is such bad design. It really is. It needs to be fixed. But we're going to keep going anyways. The score is now 15-21. It might not look like it from 2-1-7, but I am this game's only hope of making it through. So, on we go. I'm continuing to build up levels. I need to get to 16. Once I reach level 16, it gets a lot easier to do all the different things that I want to do. Got a little ghoul pack with me. Call Maiden. I am now looking for trouble. I'm trying to see where the enemy is. I was expecting to see Misfortune and Leona. I don't see them. But I do see Lucian and Kled, so I try to cross the mid. And Maiden doesn't get distracted, which is good, because really often Maiden gets distracted. For once, the team notices that I'm going for a sweep and they engage. This is the right answer. So everything happens and I'm coming in behind the enemy team. I'm looking to cut them off. I go ahead and drop barrier. Unfortunately, I have to pull them all the way out here because Maiden got distracted. It's so awful. I do a lot of damage. I'm fighting really well. And unfortunately, Lucian flashes. I use barrier to keep myself alive just a second longer. And step back into the corner. Maiden is still alive and fighting, which is great. And now Warmogs is kicking in. So I'm getting my health back. I barrier the Kled in. He's trying to dig his way out, but by the time he can, I've done a ton of damage to him. I go ahead and ring here, that way he can't chase me down. I don't really want to fight that stupid Kled because I know the way he works. There's a chance that he could turn things around on me, and I don't want to take that chance. So instead, I summon the Maiden, and I notice there's 3 members of the enemy team dead, and Maiden is pushing a wave. So, logically, I need to help the Maiden push. And I forget about recalling and start pushing. Maiden's damage goes up by 33% if I'm present. Basically, her damage goes from 2 to 3. So it's technically 50% higher with me around. And it's 66% of what it would be when I'm not there. And I'm just shoving the wave. I see Leona. I'm like, okay, this has gone its course. I don't want to be here. Maiden has no hit points. It's going to die in 2 hits. I go ahead and recall as Maiden goes on cooldown. And because I'm getting closer and closer to 16, the cooldowns are getting shorter and shorter, which I have to admit I'm a fan of. Once I get to 16, the Maiden will be able to end the game. So I need to watch my level very carefully. I could turn the entire game around by attacking with a level 16 Maiden. Once you get rank 3, her HP spikes from 2,500 to 4,000. I find Skarner, I try to catch him, it doesn't work out. Here comes a big push straight into the mid, Everybody gets squashed. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. But I know what I'm going to do. I'm warning these guys to get their butts back to the turret. And they are sitting in the brush waiting to ambush, which is stupid as fuck. I can't keep them off the turrets, which is unfortunate. But this game is not over yet, just almost over, that's all. I start by throwing out some goop, trying to find an edge. I'm watching. There's Misfortune. I managed to throw a catch on her. Nov8 is stalling to the best of his abilities. Maiden is up, so I call Maiden. I managed to get a whole bunch of damage down. They suppress me. It's not going to make a difference. I get out of the way of that. Get myself right onto Misfortune. Do as much damage as I can. And finally bite the dust. But at this point, Skarner's been captured. And now they're going to do some stupid shit. Because why? Skarner generates a shield if you leave him alone. And we're going to split up and go in one at a time and die because we're stupid like that. Good job, team. Way to fail. But, fortunately, Nov8 will come back on the respawn timer. Just a little bit too aggro there, buddy. Everything's going to hinge on this next go. So, I bought myself a Mortal Reminder. This will shut down the items that Kled has built. He's got a Ravenous Hydra, and it's our biggest problem. That and the Bloodthirster that is on Lucian. I need to keep these guys from doing that stuff. I immediately call to the bottom lane, hoping to get the gold. But Nov8 does this shit. Thank you for nothing, Nov8. Great. I stick around a little longer, though, and I get my prize. Level 16. Now I can fight. If Nov8 had just let me have that wave, but it doesn't matter. He didn't let me have the wave, and I got what I needed anyways. I start looking around for the enemy team, and I find them in a spot I didn't want to find them. Now I have to run for my life. Fortunately, the entire allied team comes to my rescue, all of them engaging. I managed to get out with a sliver and summon the Maiden, and as my Warmogs kicks in, I can rejoin the fight and start fighting seriously. I'm kiting around the edge, letting my ghouls do the work as much as possible. I managed to get a pretty good hook here. A lot of damage coming down there. I slow the Misfortune, I plant an exhaust on her, ring her in, and finish her off. Now it's time to bring this game to a close. Yasuo gets out with the scrape of his teeth. Fortunately, with the Ghoul Pack, as well as all the damage from our team, we're going to win this. At the one moment it counted, my entire team glued in and followed me into battle. And the result was an instantaneous victory from a near loss. Skarner fails in the Nexus steal, and we win the game. None of this would have been possible if I had died during that last play. Every ounce of gold counted. I ended the game with 14,227, the second highest on our team, only topped by the 12-kill Yasuo. And I managed to eclipse every member of the enemy team. What's more, I actually had spent more of my gold than Yasuo did, which meant I was technically the strongest character on our team. Thank goodness, because if I had died in that last play, the game would have ended.